Hello, good morning, everybody. This is the Valleyfolk doing the Valley Cast, and this morning we're a bunch of tired boys, and one of us is very, very sick. Elliot,
Oh,
Like
hey,
sick as in
Joe.
awesome.
Thanks for
bull,
having me.
bull,
Uh,
bull.
I'm sick with the coronavirus, which I've never had before, and
Fauci's kiss.
Fauci's kiss,
Mhm.
and it gave me quite a frencher. And I've been sick for I think going on 2 weeks. I caught it from my wife, who caught it from her family, who flew across the country to hug her in her time of need for her sickness. Uh,
God.
Sorry, this is God's kiss. This is crazy.
so in case folks have not heard and you're finding
Damn.
out now, this is an awkward way to say it, but my wife, lovely wife, released a video explaining that she was recently diagnosed with something called breast cancer, and then around that
Okay.
same time we both got sick with COVID
No
from her
way. That's what
family.
happened?
Yeah, and so she had she had COVID and cancer at the same
Jesus
time,
Christ.
and
The
then
big C
now
and the little C.
exactly. And COVID-19 and cancer triple positive. And so
Jesus.
we're she's better now from the COVID, and now she's waiting on me
Whoa.
to get better from the COVID. So
Did the COVID prevent any like treatments or anything like that?
there's been a couple complications, but it seems like it's all going to be okay. It's definitely maybe delayed. I think it all worked out. It was a little scary there for
Okay.
a second
Okay.
that it was going to delay some stuff, but everything's going okay.
Which family member
Amazing.
feels the worst, do you think, about it?
I could definitely name names, but they're
You don't
doing
want to
better
throw
now.
anybody under the bus. Nobody did that on purpose,
Yeah,
is what
no,
we're trying
no,
to
and
say.
Unless it was cousin Gary. Cousin
it was cousin
Gary.
Gary.
Unless it was cousin Bobby
Br-
Iger.
Yep.
Don't feel like watching movies, so I'll watch people guess them instead. I don't know how it goes, I think it starts with your show.
Do you see the humor in it? Like, is everybody seeing the humor in it and kind of just going with stride? Or are you like, this sucks, it's raining, it's pouring, it won't stop?
Definitely both. I think at first
Yeah.
some people were really upset and freaking out because they they gave their daughter or someone cancer, but
At the height of just learning you're one of the most immunocompromised. Yeah.
exactly, yeah,
But
yeah.
that's what's also interesting is that you did not get it in the initial wave of
Never.
COVID. Like you
Never.
The
avoided
initial
it.
10 waves. This is your
Yeah.
first
I guess
go,
that's
right?
true. Yeah.
Grace has had it. Everyone I know has had it, and I've never had it. And I thought maybe I would get better immediately and not have any symptoms, but it just feels like a brain fog. You guys know, I
Oh
feel like I'm
yeah.
very late to the party. It's a very boring.
You know,
To talk
it's
about.
interesting because like, they talk about like the like long COVID and how the brain fog doesn't go away or something like that. And I kind of like, I was reading some of these articles about how like some people just feel like the brain frog
The brain. There you go. The Bane frog.
The Fauci
Pixar's
frog. You
brain
guys have
frog.
heard of it.
But I feel like maybe it's the weed, but the brain fog has hung around like beyond COVID. Like I had some kind of respiratory issues that also lasted like a real long time. Joe, did you
Really?
ever get it?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was for me it was a rough 3 days.
Yeah.
Mm.
uh, Temperature changes while I was sleeping. And then I just I didn't test negative for like 3 weeks. So I was just like
Yeah.
alone in a room.
Yeah.
Yep. That's basically it. I'm
Are
getting very stir crazy.
yeah. Well, welcome
you
to the
got
club, man.
you
Welcome,
got
welcome to the COVID club.
Thank you.
yeah, we'll get you your card soon.
Yeah.
Did you get so it sounds like this wave of COVID from everybody else that I've talked to is more like a lot of chest congestion. Like
That's all I've had.
yeah.
And
Okay.
even that isn't bad. Like symptom wise, like I sound worse than I am. I've been okay physically. It is just mental stuff for the and fatigue. Like I'm sleeping like it's unreal. Yesterday I was like could not hold my head up falling asleep, and I hate that very much. I don't like
I
being
know.
tired.
Isn't that a weird feeling when you're like you've already slept enough, and you
Yeah.
wake up and your body's just like, no, we could close our eyes now
Say
again
bye.
and just go right back to bed.
Yeah.
That's just your body going like, listen, we're using other things right now
Yeah.
for healing, so keep sleeping.
We're gonna shut it down.
helps.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be okay, and we're all gonna be great, and everything's good. How are you guys?
Yeah.
We're on strike.
We're on strike, man. This is what is this, day 2, day 3 of the strike?
It's gonna be a long, long time.
But Monday should be the official second business day of the strike. The
Okay.
SAG-AFTRA joining the rest of the.
Yeah.
I know.
Who was this original with the WGA?
Yeah.
So it's the WGA and SAG-AFTRA now combining
Yeah.
forces. And it seems like this could be potentially a devastating blow to those rich fucks up in their towers watching all these people picket out there.
Could be.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this is really like, the writers really do make, Hollywood work, regardless of how good writing is in general. But
I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean.
What'd you just say?
No, I've had a few moments where I've watched something that's been written and been like,
Joe, we talk a lot about movies that we like because the writing's good and movies we don't like because the writing's bad. But regardless of those two things, the writing is very important in Hollywood for movies to
Steve took like one drag too many, I feel.
What I'm saying is that with the writers being out of commission and now the actors being out of commission, it should be quite an interesting state of events that will unfold.
It will be interesting. It does seem like the other side is super digging their heels in.
Certainly.
So it'll be really interesting to see where it goes. The SAG WGA side of it, they're being very good with their PR, like picking out that crazy like perpetuity AI thing they offered. Did you guys see that?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Like it's the perfect, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, they offered $200 to background extras if they would come in. So 200 is basically the day rate. They come in for their day, they let a computer scan their faces and their performance, and they get $200 for that. And then the studios get to use that image and replicate it and put it in background scenes for the rest of human eternity.
And this was unbeknownst to the background actors. I was reading a personal account of a professional background actor who said he went to work and there was this like big giant tent and all of the background actors were like in line to get into this tent. And he was like, what's this for? And they were like, they're just taking like continuity photos. And usually continuity photos are taken when a actor gets into a costume and someone comes around and takes a Polaroid of their makeup and everything. And they go, okay, this is what you're supposed to look like for the next 4 weeks. So don't forget. And we won't forget. And it's very important for continuity of the movie.
And then that Polaroid goes on a wall.
Yeah, it does.
With a thumbtack.
Yep. But apparently in this case, what was happening in there was they were getting their photographs taken in 360 degrees. So they were taking like photos of like every
Polaroid,
right? Every angle. I mean, they're like, why are you doing this? You don't need to take every fucking angle. We're background. And it turns out that they were using this data to what Joe was saying, so that they can use these like models. They can basically wrap the texture of the photo around a 3D body, and then it'll look like a real person. And then they could just use that whenever they want for $200. And that's insane. That's not okay.
It's like, it's a, there's a lot of things on the table monetarily, but there's a lot of things on the table that are going on with just the future of the industry with all the technology and AI and stuff like that. So what people tend to forget that we're all monsters in LA, but what people tend to forget is that, like, I was even talking to my dad about it. He's like, well, why do they need more money? And I was like, are you talking about the studios? He's like, no, the actors. And I'm like, Dad, you're talking about, like, I know what you're doing right now. You're talking about like Brad Pitt and 5 other people that get really fucking famous and rich off of acting. This isn't about them. This is about background that needs to like hustle and work his ass off and is basically a day player put in the fucking work. to eke out a living type of actor that you don't see and you don't know about. Those are that's what the big fight is for.
Well, totally, and the people like Brad Pitt or the John Cusacks or whatever that are kind of mouthing off with their 2 cents or what. I don't know if Brad Pitt said anything, but John Cusack. You guys seen John Cusack? Like, John Cusack's been going on like a Twitter
profanity laden screams. I was like, I saw the tweet and I was like, who's saying this? And I looked at the name and I was like, oh, it must be someone else named John Cusack. I can't see.
No, it's John Cusack. And it's great. Well, I'll try to look up, or Elliott, if you want to look up exactly what he said. It's very fun. It's very John Cusack. You can imagine John Cusack saying it to this person. But even Ron Perlman, Ron Perlman's come out and been like, blah, blah. But the thing is like,
No, Ron Perlman came out and made a physical threat against a man.
Yeah. Well, they said they were using some dirty language also, saying that they don't care if people lose their homes.
No.
Like, they're going to hold out until people lose their homes.
No, I know. I just like there's a difference between he was and I will murder you and burn down your house.
Yeah. So the thing is like your dad was saying, and I think some people may be listening, or in general, people need to realize that, like, certainly there's celebrities that don't need more money, but there are celebrities that are part of this guild that are standing in solidarity with everybody who is affected by this in a like devastating way, like the people that will lose their homes because they rely on the industry to, get their monies and shit.
It's also emblematic of what happens in so many other industries. I know, like Sam Cedar was talking about, the good thing about this is the visibility of actors in show business makes it so that if this does work, other industries that are less visible, that are in like service or providing services, it will offer them an opportunity to be able to do similar things to get better working conditions. It's just kind of classic,
totally.
Like idealized union stuff, if it works.
And there's also like there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle, but there's a lot of demands. But one of the more interesting aspects of the strike was like residuals, like back residuals, or like I forgot what they were talking about, how like and John Cusack actually specifically was talking about a friend who was like a series regular on a show that might still be going, and they're owed like so much money from the work that they've already put in. And there are a lot of actors that are like, filthy rich, that are also owed a lot of money that studios promised a long time ago, but then said like, well, there's no more money to give because this movie was a flop or something, or we actually were in the negative with this movie. Like, I think John Cusack was specifically talking about Say Anything, where he's holding up the boombox. He said that there's like he was owed a lot of like residual money from that, but that the studio was like, the movie is technically not a hit, so we don't have any money from it. And it's like, what? That doesn't make any sense. So there's just all this like really greedy, weird shit going on that needs to kind of end now. Yep. It seems like it's time. Have you guys seen some of the like there were celebrities leaving premieres to go like join their?
Yeah, I know. Yep. Me and the rest of the cast of Oppenheimer left.
I'm glad you did.
You
I'm
guys
glad
all
you made
went together.
Yeah. Well, Killian was like, I don't know if and I was like, no, we need to, dude. And he was like, I'll follow your lead. And I was like, I know, typical. So.
Good. And what did Matt Damon say?
He was 3 seats down, but I just heard him being like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty good. We probably had to leave."
Yeah. What about Robert Downey Jr.?
Bobby Downey. What about Bobby Downey?
What did he sound like?
Bobby Downey Jr. was like, "Hey, I guess we should. If you're right. We should get out of here."
Hey, I'm from New York.
That's me, Robbie D.
Robbie Downey. You call me Bobby Downey.
Bobby Downs. Yo, it's Bobby Downs.
There was this really funny news cycle yesterday with the premiere of the Haunted Mansion movie at Disneyland. Did you guys hear about this?
Yes.
It's pretty funny because it's like, there are no celebrities doing like appearances or anything right now in solidarity for the strike. So with the Haunted Mansion premiere at Disneyland, they rolled out the red carpet, and since there are no celebrities attending it, they just have like Mickey and Minnie like walking the red carpet, like Donald coming out, and like
That's great.
they're interviewing Donald or
Which is interesting because I'm pretty sure the Teamsters are like in solidarity with the other union, and Donald and them are Teamsters. At least
oh,
part of
are
it.
they? Shit.
Yeah, I was a Teamster when I was a friend of Goofy.
Damn. Yeah. Those
It's
theme
very
park
funny.
guilds want nothing to do with the movie stuff. Maybe.
So funny. Like growing up, I don't know why, but the word Teamsters always was just connotated with like a bunch of bad motherfuckers that
Yeah.
will kick the shit. Like,
yeah,
Right.
that'll fuck you up. They're just working men,
They will
working.
break you.
They did, yeah. They'll break your legs.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
and that was me.
In costume.
Yeah, it's Goofy. Did you guys, speaking of news, because I know I've been off the podcast for a couple weeks, and thank you for handling it, but is it time? Do you want an update on all the UFO
Yes,
stuff?
please. We've been dying. And there was a conversation the other day with friends, and we were talking about UFOs, and they were just like more skeptics in the room. And I was like, man, if I had Elliott here, we'd have these skeptics taking a second to think about this for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, we
Little
need
bit.
Elliott's expertise here. Because I mean, look, sure, maybe by now we should have proof.
Right?
Right?
Joe just left. Joe just hates it so much. He walked
Joe
away.
didn't even say anything. That might have been an emergency.
He
Someone
went
was
to the
screaming.
picket line.
He's like, I gotta go, guy. I gotta go to the big line. You just see him walk by with one of those signs. It's already
The
like
t-shirt.
he's got like a headband on and like a camelback backpack.
Have you kept up with the I mean, I think being skeptical is great. I
Absolutely.
firmly, but do you know what's going on?
I know nothing. No, I've been purposefully waiting to hear what's up.
Dude, this is actually pretty crazy. So
I love it. What do you got, man? What's new? How could there be new shit? Like what can you give me like a recap kind of?
So you have this guy Grush. He comes out. He's a top intelligence guy. He's got top clearance. And
He's the guy that this is all about, right? Like
Yeah.
he's the one who started this whole thing. Okay.
Yeah. He's saying, listen, folks, we got a secret government program where they're reverse engineering and they have bodies of aliens.
Mhm.
One of the most batshit things you could possibly say.
Batshit, because you're like, where is that? And where's the
Exactly.
proof? Back it up.
Right. And then everyone's going, and then someone, I believe it was the intelligence something or other, says they found his claims credible and urgent. And so then they start going, Marco Rubio, the Republican representative, and Luna, another Republican representative in the House, they set this meeting, and it has now been on the calendar for July 26th, a hearing in the United States House to hear witnesses speak about the disclosure process or what they know to be true. Now, that's all fine and dandy, except the House is like little league compared to the Senate. So really what you want to do is you don't want to go before the House Oversight Committee. That's like little league. What you want to do is
Bunch of clowns over there.
Bunch of clowns. You want to go in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee. That's bad boys. That's where you're going, we're like gonna go to the top. Out of nowhere, a new piece of legislation drops. Get this. Sponsored by none other than the Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, who is like one of the most powerful people in politics. He goes online on Twitter. He says, I'm following in the footsteps of my colleague, Harry Reid, and we are going to initiate this bill, and it's going to get signed by the president. Are you ready to hear what this bill?
Whoa. This is recent?
This is days ago, like 2 days ago.
What's the bill?
It's actually on Friday. It's called, the title of it, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Disclosure. The title may be cited as Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena Disclosure Act of 2023 or the UAP Disclosure Act of 2023.
Whoa.
That sounds so cool.
They even in this is so goofy. They have a list of descriptions, definitions. They include the term non-human intelligence. This is so funny.
Okay, so they're including AI in there?
Well, they say the term non-human intelligence means any sentient, intelligent, non-human life form, so not AI, regardless
Whoa.
of nature or ultimate origin, that may be presumed responsible for unidentified anomalous phenomena or of which the federal government has become aware.
What the fuck?
Isn't that crazy? So they're
So we're
basically
getting like government verbiage in relation to
Yeah.
alien bodies and things like that.
and it says that they're wanting eminent domain, which basically means that they're going to take back any craft that any private company has. And so there's all this like weird, and then that's in addition to the hearing that's coming out on the 23rd, where they're saying this guy's credible. And
They're just slipping in a little eminent domain in there. That's some big time shit to have a government just say, it's mine.
Exactly.
So
they're literally going,
it's mine.
Is that in regards to the rumors that like other countries have pieces of Martian technology or things like that? Is that what that's in reference to?
That's all in the little conspiracy. Yeah, that's the idea. They said that
Well, they can't claim eminent domain over other countries. They can claim eminent domain over anything that's U.S. Well, they will say that they can. A lot of people don't believe in eminent domain because it's fucking crazy.
It's
you can't
scary.
take people's stuff. Yeah, the idea though is that the other governments, if there is some technology that they have that we don't have, if our private companies have not wanted to give back what we have that other countries have, then our government can be like, no, you got to give it back so we have what the other countries have. But the wording in this is crazy because it says legislation is necessary because credible evidence and testimony indicates that federal government unidentified anomalous phenomena records exist that have not been declassified or subject to mandatory declassification review. And so basically they go into like how a misreading of the Atomic Energy Act of 1954 has allowed disclosure to not happen. So they're putting together a panel of 8 people that will be handpicked by the president. And one of them includes like a sociologist, a historian, an economist,
a wizard,
and 2 pimps and a crazy.
You gotta have a way. You gotta represent the magical arts in there if you're gonna.
And one dark arts master, one master of dark arts.
Yeah. One. I love that. Well, so they're making it. So this is all happening on the 26th.
The hearing on the House is on the 26th and it's open. And then there's a, which I doubt anything, all this stuff is just like,
I know.
But I do think a lot of it is just, we have politicians that are super into sci-fi. Like they were all raised on sci-fi. And so they all want to believe this. We're all
and so they're like, let's do it. Let's just make a legislation. Yeah.
And just in case. But I mean, how fun it would be if it is all. And then
I mean, if they're getting the president involved, it seems like this is kind of like new movement in this whole thing.
All the UFO Reddits, are they like team Schiff now? Like, yeah, he's one of us.
You mean Schumer?
Oh, Schumer,
yeah, everyone's like, oh yeah, oh man, okay, this is a big deal. And then the conspiracies just go off the rails. Like,
what are your favorites, or what are you liking right now?
There was an article I read that looked like somebody was saying that what is happening is there's a species of grays that have been around for millions of years, but they only use our own materials on Earth, and then they are they don't care about us. We're like ants to them, and but they've been performing an experiment, and it's like very detailed. And
I love that. So that's showing them as more of like an antagonist.
Yeah, and it's very they've made contact with us, and they've been around for a while, and they exist in the oceans, and they also have 7 bases, but one of them's on the moon. That kind of stuff where you're like, oh, it's very like creative.
I feel like grays is already a derogatory term.
Yeah. Oh, they actually some even more.
That's what we've always called them since like the 70s or something, right?
I don't think that's okay, especially because there's probably so many colors of the rainbow when it comes to life out there.
Well, once they tell us what they want to be called, then we'll give them that. For now, what else are we supposed to call them?
Typical Steve putting a whole interstellar species.
Oh, you guys are saying grays. I thought you said gays.
And that's our podcast, everybody. Thank you.
But that's scary that they like don't care about us, but they're here to like use our resources and like, you
it's
know,
total it's total like apocalypse fantasy. Like it's very you're not but yeah, it's so crazy just to see the government being like, I guess we're just going for it, huh? Like I almost was more comfortable when people were like, there should be a stigma around this because you sound like a crazy person. Now the whole government's like, we're coming up with a team of people that are going to be disclosing aliens to the American public. And all right.
do you think they're like, do you think that they man, I don't know. Because the thing with like it being like non-human, and the whole UAP thing means that we could be talking about things from like a, because I know that it's so now to talk about like multiverse shit and like interdimensional things, but it seems like there is a slight acknowledgement of the possibility of other planes of existence and beings from other planes of existence coming to visit, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that stuff the president's gonna like look at real soon if they haven't looked at it already.
Yeah, that's what they claim here. The Biden has met them.
Like high-fived.
Yeah.
High
And also according to this article, that video of him meeting them is going to be revealed at the hearing. So tune in. Like,
Whoa!
Yeah,
I love those. I love it.
Yeah,
I love that those
there
people want it to happen so bad.
Yep. And the imaginations that people have are really
I know.
It's
impressive.
fun.
It is fun.
It is.
It's fun. It's good times. It's could you imagine that's what they do? They fucking release a video of Biden shaking
like
hands.
meeting aliens. Dude, that
No
would be
one would
so
believe
great.
That'd be
I
a
think-
great way to make sure no one ever believed that there were aliens. If you show me a video of Biden, I'd be like, that's pure worldwide news. What was that tabloid back in the day?
Weekly World News in the Inquirer, yeah.
Just like, hey, what's up? After the initial like, hi, I am President Joe Biden of the United States of America, of Earth.
What
It
you
is
were
a pleasure
about
to meet
see.
you. So then the other guy's like, and then there's like some kind of translation cool thing because they're way more advanced than us. And then after that, it's just like crazy, unpleasant, awkward small talk. It's like,
Yeah.
It's like, so
Hey.
what's up?
What's the weather like on Mars? Dude, I think it's like
What do you want to do now?
Just imagine if they yeah, exactly. So
You guys want I got my wife, she's got lemonade. Do you guys want to go just sit in the living room and
one of them's like, sure, and then they drink the lemonade and they die. The lemonade kills them.
Oh.
They just disintegrate into dust or something. Wow, this is delicious. They're just dead. But dude, like, imagine if there was like the president of the United States addresses the nation and says, what you're about to see is history
like a YouTube video. What's up, guys? Joe Biden.
No, it's like a full
What
press
you are
conference.
about to see today on this vlog.
And he's got
Joey
an
B.
intro. He's got like an animated intro. We'll be right back. But no, like what if they were like, it was fucking national news and they're like, the president is addressing the nation. And he's like, here, we wanted to share with you that we have made contact with beings from not from this earth, and we have footage of this meeting and we want to show it to you. And imagine seeing this, and it's like, we've seen CGI, we've seen puppets, we've seen that kind of stuff, but this looks like legit. This looks like this can't be fake.
Oh, the puppets was the second thing you went to.
Because what if they
so funny? It
what if
makes
they were
sense.
puppets,
It's just such funny to see this. We've seen CGI. We've seen puppets.
We've seen puppets. We know what puppets look like. We know what puppets look like, and we know what puppets look like when you put them on a camera and you film them.
Yeah,
there's a puppety feel to it.
It's very uncanny.
That's
puppet.
not puppet.
Exactly. So like, what if you were seeing this and you're like, holy shit, like this I mean, fuck, is this real? Like, there'd be people that are like, is this real? There'd be people that are like, all right, this is real. And then there'd be people that were like, this is fake, and they're using this for the election, and they're using this for,
Yep.
you know, for favoritism for Joe Biden, or like, you know, distraction from the real shit going on, all of that.
One
But
thing that I
Yeah, go
oh,
ahead.
how would you guys react to?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Who
how would you react
knows?
to that?
Yeah.
Who knows? Here's what I know what I do. I get on our little text star and I go, "You guys see this shit?" That's
You
what I
guys
would
see
do.
this?
Yeah,
It's
kinda- it'd
aliens.
be like,
Finally.
hey guys, you see this?
You seeing this shit
You
right now?
guys seeing this?
It's crazy.
I think it's alien. I think it's our president meeting aliens.
Like it may not be, but it could. It's just weird. It's weird that they're doing it.
Anyway, when you guys want to do the podcast?
I mean, what would it take? What would it take for you to believe it's true?
If Biden came out and was like, "There's aliens," I'd be like, "Yeah, I don't think he would lie about that."
Right? Like how? What? How? Yeah.
Why?
Like
Look
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think-
I'd still need a little bit more than that, though. Now that I think
Yeah.
of that, I think I need to.
Like, what do you think it is? Like, you need to see them. Like, you need to go to an event and see them.
I need to go to a convention,
A conference, yeah.
concert.
And see, and they're like, the aliens are doing like
Hey,
a press tour.
You need to go to Acon.
Alien God. They have a panel. They're doing a panel at Alien Con.
It's a moderated by Nathan Fillion. I'm like,
Joe,
really
what would it
excited.
take? What would it take for you to be like, well, I guess that's aliens then?
I don't know, man. It's honestly, I can't. It's such a human existence altering, like
I know it changes
existential
everything.
step that you have to take in your mind. Like it may change nothing, like ever in our day to day, let's say, but it changes everything in your mind and your place in the universe. And for religious folk, like who's their God? Is this their God too? Like all this, like
Is that God?
it's such a different step mentally that I can't answer the question. I don't know.
It would be
Yeah.
like changing the source code of all of our programming.
Yeah.
It's like things are going to change in weird ways because we wouldn't be the top of the food chain, and our entire existence have been
Right.
like, we're at the top.
You know, yeah, I would be fascinated beyond. Let's say I get to the point where I'm like, okay, I guess I'd be fascinated beyond belief, one, and then I'd be also simultaneously terrified, like at the same time.
It'd be very
Like,
scary. Yeah.
like you would not know what to do. Now, the bigger thing that I think we would currently on the trajectory we are on as a society and how we're like handling things, we're having massive, like traumatic news events every day, but
Yeah.
we've kind of like become numb to them over the last few years. What's like between the flooding and the heat and all this shit, right? I worry that everybody would be like, oh, that's cool. And then we would move on to, they would just
Yep.
forget about it and be normalized to it in like 2 weeks
Yeah.
after the news cycle stuff.
You know, you're probably right in like a general sense, because it does feel like the general population is just kind of not interested in that. Like they're not sci-fi nerds, and they're not like, they want to know how it affects their like bottom dollar, their like backyard.
Yep.
Essentially. And I don't know if this does any of that. I mean, it certainly would challenge religious institutions in a way, probably, but
And they've already got ahead of that, a lot of them, right? I forget. Who was it? Was it the Vatican? One of them was just like, yeah,
Yeah.
God, alien is God. God is alien. God.
yeah,
too.
they're like all beings are God
all
creations.
creation, everything. So
Yeah.
God.
Uh
So it's an easy snap of the fingers to get your congregation on board if you have a very devout congregation. Like that's actually not that hard. There will be some stragglers that'll be like, these are we never talked about this.
dude, there's still
There'll be people who think they're
and
demons.
then some like
right, or
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
they're from
Yeah.
hell. They're the devil, or
they're
like it
from
means-
space hell.
Yeah.
and
Where
and
the
they're-
event horizon is from.
if they are bad boys, they might, if they're malevolent, they might be like demons. Who knows?
Yeah, I
What-
mean, like the thing
if
is
we're-
like, dude, even
could be
right
under
now,
attack. You're gonna kill
even
us.
like
We're dead.
we could be dead, yeah. But what if they look like prisoners, you know? Like what if they look like, we have them in in Washington in a secret location, and they're well taken care of, and it's not real, because I mean they would
I love the
imprison them,
idea of
wouldn't they?
you.
Wouldn't they imprison them?
I love the idea of you playing a president that kind of gives the location away, but not the whole location. Yeah, guys, we got him in Washington in an undisclosed location, though.
That's the other thing.
We're good.
Underground.
But that's the other thing. Like, wouldn't other countries be like, "Hey, wait a minute, we should have access to those beings"?
Other
also.
countries are like, wait, United States, we also want to have sex with. I mean, have the ability to interrogate with our
I think it would be in the news cycle endlessly, like updates on the beings, like we still don't understand their language. We're like trying to learn their language. Like, I think there would be constant updates. And because even right now, there is still like activity in the Titan subreddits about
Dude.
like believe it or not, there are people who are still obsessing over minute details of the Titan sub incident.
What's
Do
like
you know
the
that
crazy?
because you're there?
Yeah,
I know that because I was there, and now Reddit is doing this thing where it like keeps, even though you didn't join the subreddit, it keeps
Really
showing
annoying.
you, and I'm like, I don't want to do it anymore. Leave
you're
me alone.
getting algorithmed by Reddit. That's
Algorithmed
great.
by Reddit, yeah, it's like kind of interesting now.
You got to wonder like the most extreme responses that you would get to that are like really big and kind of public, or at least loud. Like I could imagine, let's say in the crazy world where Steve's president was like, we're in Washington in an undisclosed location, kicking it with them. We'll keep you updated. There would be a faction of people that like are on the White House, like trying to get on the front lawn to protest, going, kill the aliens.
Yeah.
Kill them. They are unnatural. They don't
Or send them
believe you.
home. Let them go home or
No,
something.
I say straight murder. There'd be so many people that'd be like, just kill him. This is a threat. You got to kill him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then wouldn't they be like, but if we kill them, they might send more. And then we're fucked.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. People's weird, man. We weird.
Anybody who wants to kill the alien probably doesn't have a lot of forethought in general, because you wouldn't want to do that.
They're all guest
Right.
on. Kill the beast.
Exactly.
Well, we've seen it
Totally
in
guessed
movies.
on it, yeah.
We've seen it in movies. It's like, why do you want to study it? It's like, well, we want to fucking, we want to see if we can use it for our own greedy American benefits.
They say that's where we got the microwave, y'all.
Yeah, and fiber optic lighting and fiber optics in general.
Dude, Ben Franklin.
Also,
100,
these
100
look-
inventions. Yeah. What? Yeah. These little. Mhm.
that look exactly like the monolith from
Bwah, bwah,
yeah,
bwah,
exactly.
bwah.
Steve,
What's up, buddy?
Grace and I have gotten obsessed with a YouTube channel
Yeah.
called Ordinary Adventures. Do you know?
Yeah, I do know Ordinary Adventures, and those are my friends.
Are they cool?
Peter and Kitra, yeah.
Yeah. So Grace and I have watched probably like 3.5 to 4 hours total, maybe longer of them.
Because they're so good. They're like the best like theme park vloggers that exist, I think.
Yeah, and we can't figure out why we're watching this so much, but
Because they're
really great,
Aren't they just like
pleasant.
They're just pleasant. They're not like annoying, and they're not like there's so many annoying and like
What are they called?
invasive-
Who are they called?
Ordinary. Yeah, go ahead.
We do it on three. 1, 2, 3.
Ordinary
Adventures.
Okay, there they are. All right,
Yeah.
what's up, guys?
And so Peter used to run Slash Film, that movie website Slash Film.
Oh yeah,
And he'd always been a big Disney nerd, and eventually he was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna start a Disney vlog with my wife. They go to Disney stuff, and it's been like really awesome for them. They get to go and do really cool events and stuff, and
I watched the Star Cruiser, which is shutting down.
yeah.
I got to go twice. It was really interesting.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to watch this stuff.
I know, it's kind of like a little peek into these things that like we probably will never do. I was talking to some friends last night about the whole like Disney adult thing, and how like there's definitely like Disney adults, but like I don't want to be in that category because it's like Disney adults are like a breed of people that like eat, sleep, and breathe Disney and make it like their whole thing is that Disney is like the only thing they love. And then they go and they kind of like ruin things in the parks for people, and they go and they buy up all the
what do you mean by that? How do they ruin things in the parks for people?
well, they're usually annual pass holders, and they come in with their like hoity-toity annual pass holder attitudes, and they say like we deserve things over the regular people that come here, and they come and they swarm all the exclusive stuff and buy it all up, and like
So like kids can't, like children can't enjoy
yeah,
it.
exactly. Or people that are just visiting from out of town that have never been, they
or
don't really
Steve,
think about
who's not a Disney adult, but Steve
Yeah.
also wants that stuff. And when the other Disney adults
But
get
see,
there
that's
first,
the thing.
Exactly.
But that's the thing. Like, I
We're
think
getting to the root of this.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't want the things the Disney adults want. Like, the Disney adults want to go to like the Oogie Boogie Bash and like the Mad Hatter dance party event and shit like that. And these are all things that like are on top of the admission of the park that you have to pay for to enjoy. And I'm kind of against that. I'm kind of against like paying additional, like, they'll close the park down after 5 p.m. for people who paid $250 a ticket to also come in on top of the Disney admission to do some kind of like Halloween bash or something. Like, those are things I'm not interested in. Like, I don't care about the popcorn buckets or the new churros or the new Disney ears and shit. Like, I feel like there is a breed of people who are like feverishly into that stuff, and those are the Disney adults.
Yeah, we're watching, and like the amount of things that like, because it's not just, there's another channel we'll watch that does the same thing at Disney World, but they are like true Disney adults, and I won't say who they are because they have like no subscribers, and so it's really weird because we'll watch them and it'll be like 45 people.
That's
like,
a weird. That's a weird
yeah.
intimacy you're
It's so
experiencing.
weird.
I
and
love it.
It's like a weird dark habit that we're getting into, but they'll be like, they'll find a new food or a new piece of merch or something, and they'll go through and they'll find the details fine, and we'll bust out laughing because like when we go to a park, we see basically nothing. Like, we have tunnel vision and we're walking around and we're like, we're gonna do this right and we're gonna go this, and then we're just like aloof to everything. And then there are people who are like, this new item is this brand, I haven't seen this one here, and you can see that it has the fabric on the sleeve matches the trim on the original Splash Mountain, and you're like, what is your brain is a different kind of brain.
That is an interesting way to describe it, Elliot, because you're right. There are people who go to Disneyland and are like, they have goals and missions, and they're like, we paid this money, we're gonna go get the most out of the theme park experience. And then there's the people that are like, I need to go see this new item that's in a shop that like, is a tribute to Walt or something. And there's all these like different interests when coming to the theme parks, and there is something fascinating about the people that are like, because even for me, like, I love Disneyland. I am like truly 1 degree away from being a Disney adult, I think.
Yeah, you're more like a Disney teen.
Like,
Yeah.
that was the other thing. It was like, I was trying to think of what the term is. It was like a casual Disney adult, like
proto Disney adult.
Yeah, proto Disney adult. There's got to be something in there that doesn't lump you in with the Disney adults. But, there's things that I'll see on TikTok where it's like, have you tried this menu item that's been there for 15 years that like is the best food in the park? And I'm like, I've never even fucking heard of this. Like, where are people finding this?
Okay.
This is crazy. Like, I thought I was attached to the Disney zeitgeist, but there's so many things out there that are like, I had no idea even existed. And I think Ordinary Adventures does a really good job of like showcasing things like that.
What we find very, very funny is very often the food that they serve. And Joe, I think you'll appreciate this, is some of the most disgusting looking
It's
food.
awful.
Thank you.
And
It's awful, but I want it.
They'll do this big close up, and it'll be like nacho cheese, onions, potatoes, mac and cheese,
Bacon,
steak, bacon, and like a cheesy sprinkle on top. And like, you're like, that's so disgusting.
Yeah.
And they'll eat it and they'll be like, It's like
I
4 out of
find-
5. 4 out of
Yeah.
5.
I
4 out of 5.
find-
Let's move on.
4 out of 5.
I find like a little league concession stand has more care than some
Yes.
of the freaking shit that comes out of Disney.
Well,
I've
I
said
disagree.
it before. I'll
but
say
I
it
hear
again.
you.
The most magical place on earth has some of the worst food options. I'm very disappointed, and I'm always disappointed.
Well, I honestly believe Universal is even worse with food
Okay.
options.
Yeah.
Like Universal is like worse because when you go to a theme park, you expect there to be at least what you would be able to get at like a carnival, right? Like you want like carnival food, you want like popcorn, hot dogs, things like that. And it's like Universal is like really rough on that kind of stuff. It's like you want a hot dog, you got to go all the way down to the lowest point of the park. It takes like 4 hours to get over there. And then you can get a hot dog.
Yeah, it's got to be like, as far as theme parks go, it's got to be close to the record for like biggest change in elevation from one section to the next.
It's so
like
crazy.
2,000 freaking feet. It's so
Dude,
long.
Super Mario Land is in hell.
Yeah, it is. It is. You have to take
descend to the bowels.
Yeah, you have to go past hell, and then you'll get to Nintendo Land.
It doesn't. It's like
it takes like an hour and a half to get over there from the entrance of the park to.
This is such a niche thing that we're talking about, but just so everybody knows, you go from one section to the park down to the other, and you're gonna go down to this other section of the park. You're gonna go because that's where the Jurassic Park ride is. That's where the Mummy ride.
Transformers ride is. Yeah,
it's where Mario is. So you're always gonna make the trek. But for people that have been there, they're like, God, yeah, I guess we'll go. I guess we'll go down. And for everybody that hasn't been, they'll be like, let's go. And then you make the journey. And it doesn't matter if you have been there a billion times or if it's your first time. About halfway through the journey, you go, fuck, there's more stairs.
There's so many goddamn stairs. Because Universal was built on like a mountain, and they like in the valley of that mountain is where all the studios things are.
There are escalators. There are escalators, but these escalators are so damn long that you're like, when am I ever going to be off of this 1 out of 7 escalators? And then it's so fucking steep.
It's too steep.
It feels so unnatural even when you're on.
There's one aspect of those elevators or escalators that are they're too fucking steep.
It's almost vertical.
It's scary. And you're like, you feel like almost gravity pulling you backwards to be like, to fall back down. And God bless you if you turn around and look down at any moment.
Someone's crotch is behind your head, and then your crotch is behind somebody's head because you're just surrounded by people.
It's miserable. The way down is a little bit more fun because you get to see like the Nintendo world like from high up, and you get to see like the whole thing from the escalators, and then you start to see like the Jurassic Park stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, but the way back up is like miserable.
And these escalators are just some of the technology that was gifted to us from the previous batch of aliens that we caught and held on to. So who knows what we're gonna get this time. It's crazy.
Folks, you heard it here. It is true.
Oh, and okay, so we should wrap it up.
Aliens land, and they're like, yo, we got the hookup. You see those stairs? And you're like, yeah. They're like, we can make them move.
Are those the same aliens that made automatic doors at grocery stores and stuff?
Yeah, dude.
They're like, we can make the stairs move, but don't wear flip-flops on them. It gets dangerous.
And then the better aliens come. They're like, we can cure all these diseases, and we can do all.
Nah, we're good. We got doors.
And those guys are like, God damn it! They always come and one up us.
Yeah, we just sliding glass doors. Give you escalators.
They didn't have escalators. They didn't have escalators. And the higher being aliens are like, your escalators always break.
We gave them penicillin.
Your escalators barely work.
Your escalators are just a lawsuit waiting to happen. They're moving litigation.
Did you see what Universal Studios did with your escalators? They went too far, man.
It's a nightmare. Some people can't even do it. Okay, so we should wrap this up. But before that, I wanted to say, since we're kind of, we haven't had Elliott back in a bit, and I did want to talk about Zelda for a very brief moment. But Elliott, are you still playing Zelda?
Yeah, I am. I beat it.
Oh, you beat it?
Yeah, I beat it. So now
Did
I'm
you-
I'm still playing. 'Cause,
Okay.
I didn't like 100% it, but I did the main quest.
Okay. So for me, like when Breath of the Wild came out, I basically played and played and played and played until I got to a point where I was like, I guess I can go beat the game now. And I can go like
Yeah.
do the final quest or something, even though I had all those like side quests and shit still going on. And so I went and beat the game and I was like, I'll just go back and do the side quest. And then I just never did.
Oh, really?
So I'm
Oh, wow.
scared of doing that this time. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to like
Yep. Hold off.
beat
Hold off.
everything around it. Yeah. But I did want to say that I did acquire the Master Sword.
Nice. Okay, then you're pretty far along.
I now have the Master Sword, yeah.
Isn't
Me
that
too.
cool how you do
Me
that?
too.
Oh,
It was
nice. Joe.
so cool. Oh, Joe has it too.
Oh yeah, I got.
Yeah, have you been playing?
Oh yeah. I'm very
And you
far.
when did you get the Master Sword? Was it recent?
Earlier this week, I think.
Me too.
Yeah.
Same.
It's good.
It was very
Have you,
rewarding and cool. I loved it.
Have you done all the memories?
No, I haven't
Oh,
done
yeah.
all the memories.
Tears?
I also still haven't unlocked all of the towers. I'm still like in a
Wow.
not full map, and I've barely discovered the depths. I've barely explored the depths
Oh,
at
I'm
all.
so much farther than you.
Yeah, which is when I feel like maybe I got the Master Sword a little early, but
This
I'm
makes
like
things easier for you.
I
That's
think
it.
so too. Because it'll
Have-
break, but then it'll rejuvenate, right?
Yeah, and you can fuse stuff to it as well. You can still fuse.
I'm
stuff.
scared of doing that. Does that do anything when you do that? Like it doesn't,
Same it does
other
with
than
anything
just makes it more okay.
It just eventually breaks and then it comes back.
And it comes
Um,
back without the fused item.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, maybe I'll fuck with that then.
Have you guys gone to the guy to get more energy cells?
Oh yes,
That's-
that just
okay,
changed
cool.
my life.
That's very helpful.
What is
Yeah.
that?
So you know how you only have those battery things
Yeah,
that you have? You can go to a guy right outside, a little robot right outside of Lookout Landing, and you can give him your energy, those little diamond energy cells that you have. In exchange, he'll give you more battery power, so you can make more stuff.
Is
and
that guy
last
in the
longer.
sky area?
Yes, he's in the sky as well.
Oh, he is in the sky, but he is also right outside on the land.
Like right where you
outside-
start when you start in the game.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go
Lookout
back
Landing.
there.
Between Lookout Landing and the entrance to the castle.
It if you do that changes your life, but if you haven't explored the depths too much, you probably don't have a lot
That's true.
to trade. So,
That's
but
true.
it changes everything.
I just went to, so I was like, all right, I might as well go down to the depths and do some work down there. And I had that mission where I had to follow that those banana ninja guys, the guys that like the bananas,
I love that.
the
yeah.
Hika clan or something. I
Higa.
forgot the-
Yeah.
Higa. And so I just went to go like face that like leader of the Higa clan in his like flying contraption. And so
Mr.
I just
Kaboga.
did that one. So I'm like, all right, I'll stay in the depths for a little bit and just kind of clean house a little.
He's a fun subplot.
Yeah. It's cool. I like that it's like, I love about the story, maybe a little bit of a spoiler alert, but all this like Zonai technology, it seems like people are kind of like sort of adopting it all around Hyrule, but they don't really know what to do with it. But the Higa clan seems to be the closest to like figuring out how all of the Ziga or the what do they call the
Zonai.
technology? The
The
Zonai
Zonai.
technology works, and I like that they're like reverse engineering it along while like Link kind of knows a little bit more. But I do love that aspect of the story. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and I like how the Yiga clan's always trying to trap you and get you.
Yeah.
Like they'll leave bananas out. and you're
Yeah.
like, "Haha,
Or like
got you."
anytime there's like a Hyrulean like down in the depths, you're like, "What are you doing down here?" And
Yeah.
it's like, "Nope, it's a Higa clan guy
Well-
every time."
I wish they were a little harder to beat. They're too easy.
I know they're so easy with the like electricity kills them in a second.
Oh,
Dude,
really?
everything's
Oh, yeah.
everything. There's like a hack for everything in the game, like the Lionel things, like the big like from Breath of the Wild that
I'm
were
so
like,
scared of them. I haven't fought one yet.
dude, if you have puff shrooms and the muddle bud stuff, like even just puff shrooms, you hit them with a puff shroom, you just go and you just destroy them in seconds.
Oh, really?
Because
I
they're
didn't know
just like confused and they'll
Yep.
just be like stuck confused.
Yep.
There's
Whoa.
there's a Coliseum under the Coliseum where the Coliseum ruins are, and they
Yeah.
have like traps you in there, and it's like a bunch of them and they are very difficult, and that you get a cool treat at the end.
They're
Love
those
up
Lionel
treats.
things. You're like fighting them one by one or something. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It's very cool. It's very fun. And I died multiple. I was like, oh, this is harder than like almost as hard as the last battle.
Dude, I Wow, that's really scary.
I
I'm
didn't know
scared
that
of
about the puffer, about the puff
Me
thing.
neither. I'm gonna do that.
The muddle
I'm
thing
also
is most fun. Yeah.
I'm scared of the big dragons. Like I fought the ice dragon, but there's like a fire breathing dragon that's like on a bridge
Yeah.
that I'm like scared of facing. I don't know.
Those scare me. There's a king one too. There's one
Oh
that's
God.
Yeah, is there a term for what happens when you play one game and then you play another game? And when you play that other game, you're still in the muscle memory of the controls of the others.
That's a good yeah.
Is there a term for that?
We should call it like phantom gaming or something.
Yeah,
or
phantom
Phantom
controller
gaming.
syndrome.
phantom controller. Yeah.
I went from playing a lot of Breath of the Wild. My son was like, "Will you play some Fortnite with me?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll play some Fortnite with you." And I went in and I started playing Fortnite and I jumped off of a building.
And you're like, I'm gonna open up my glider.
Tried to open up my non-existent glider. It died right away, like in seconds. And I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
oh no!"
I've been in Fortnite trying to like climb. I want to like climb the mountain really quick to get up.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you guys do the in Breath or Tears of the Kingdom, the land where you like jump real? You're in slow mo.
Oh yeah. It's
I
cool.
thought
Like,
it was
Whoa,
really
I haven't done
that.
that.
It's like an anti-gravity. There's a couple
Yeah,
areas so you can do it. It's
when
fun.
you go
That's
real
cool.
high up in the sky, gravity.
Yeah.
I went to the I wanted to show my girlfriend the Karak forest, the Karak, or how do you say those? And
The Lost Woods.
And so I went and I saw that it was all fucked up and the what do they call the red stuff that came down from
The gloom.
yeah, the
baby.
gloom has been ruining that area. And I was like, oh no, it's not all cute and shit. What do I do? And so I went into the tree's tummy and fought those like skeleton hand gloom things.
Yep.
And then that fucking demon ghost of Ganondorf came out of fucking nowhere. And I was like, not ready for that battle.
No, he scares the shit out of me.
It's
Every
so
time.
scary. And I'm like, I forgot how scary and hard this game can get. Like, even though you're like doing the most pleasant things most of the time, you know? And then suddenly there's this fucking horrifying, inescapable ghost nightmare. And you're like, fuck. I mean, I managed to beat him without dying, actually, but I went through all of my.
The gamer over here.
No, he's a Zelda adult.
I went through
Zelda. That's what it is.
I went through all of my like healing resources, almost like all of my meals and shit, just to like beat that fucking guy. But I found like I had like a sword because I've got the amiibos, and so I've been getting like really cool weapons and stuff from just fucking with the amiibos. So I had like a really good weapon that I just like destroyed him with pretty much.
Nice.
But it took a while and it was scary as fuck.
Yep.
It was real good.
Those guys scare the crap out of me.
I know. Is there more? There's more of that? Oh god.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
Damn.
So I got a one little fun fact for you before we leave, Steve. I think I mentioned this to you, but I just want to say it to you, Elliot. So I had to do a video on Elton John over at the React.
This is great.
This is a fun fact that you'll be able to talk about at parties, or perhaps it comes up at bar trivia. As we all know, Elton John was part of the duo along with Tim Rice that did the Lion King soundtrack. Wrote all the songs, performed them. You know that, right? So Can You Feel the Love Tonight was one of those songs. And turns out there are some well-known background singers on that song that you did not know existed on that song. One of them was Kiki D. Now, Kiki D was the woman that he did the duet with of Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Don't go breaking my heart.
I love that. So he must have just been like, why don't you come do this?
Yep. And
Why
that's
don't you come join me?
20-year gap. Like Don't Go Breaking My Heart was like 1976 or something. And then Lion King was 1994. So wow, that's really cool they brought him in. And then also on the background of that track was none other than Rick Astley.
Mr. Rick Roll himself.
Mr. Rick Roll himself
is on that.
His
voice is somewhere on the Lion King soundtrack multiple times.
Background singing on Can You Feel the Love Tonight.
Oh, I wish there was footage of that. That'd be nice.
I know.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Do you think is Rick Astley? Like, what's the connection there? Rick Astley and Elton John are friends or something?
What if it was a money thing?
I
It
don't
was like,
oh,
get all your buddies that are
Right?
struggling, and then they get a little residual.
Give them a
thing.
nice job, and yeah, they'll get some residual checks and shit. Yeah.
yeah, perhaps. Yeah. I mean, we all know that he had a gloriously deep voice. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, maybe it helped. Maybe it helped with the lower registers, the lower tones.
Wow. I love that piece of that. I love a trivia that just gets you, and you're like, I didn't know that. And I know all sorts of dumb shit about
Yep.
that kind of stuff.
And here's another one. I've got a lot of Elton John stuff in my mind right now. Back in 2001, that was when Robert Downey Jr. was pretty much still blacklisted from Hollywood. They were like, nope, we want nothing to do with you. He was in rehab. And one person reached out to him and was like, you know what? I want to give you a shot. I believe in you. And Elton John was like, I don't want to be in my music videos anymore. I'm looking for people to do it. Would you like to be the star of my music video? And Robert Downey Jr. was like, yeah, nobody else is giving me a chance. I'll do it. So he left rehab for like 2 days to shoot the video for I Want Love with Elton John. And it was the first bit of work that he got post kind of getting like shit on by Hollywood. Yeah.
Whoa. Did it like reinvigorate? Did it like reignite his career a little bit?
I mean, it probably helped. Just
Wow.
showing that he could be professional, showing that he could still perform, showing, you know.
And
I
return
love
to
that.
rehab, fill out his figure, finish his thing. Did you guys know that the name America were named after a fraudulent navigator who's a contemporary of Columbus, and he came up with this whole travel log that he completely made up and was a fraud, but it didn't stop a German map maker from naming a hunk of land after him. And so fraud and con men are baked into the very fabric of our society.
Whoa.
It's not, and after they named it that, and they were naming all of the states, they started bringing in people like Rick Astley, Robert Downey Jr., and the girl who did the
wizard that they're bringing into the presidential,
and then the wizard from the UAP task force.
That's right.
And I have COVID, so
and Elliott has COVID.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. We learned a little something at the end of the show today. I like that.
Do you guys know that Yankee Doodle, when he said macaroni, put that song was originally the British were singing it to mock Americans, and put a feather in the cap and call it macaroni as a reference to Italian fashion, because they were so dumb that they thought putting a feather in their cap would make them macaroni in high fashion.
It is kind of a diss, isn't it?
Yep,
put a feather in his cap and then call it macaroni.
Whoa.
And then we started defeating them and singing
Doodle
it back.
sounds like a mockery also of Yankees and.
Yep, it is. Yep.
Wow, that's so funny. And now we've just adopted it as like our anthem of America.
Yep.
It's so funny.
The music video for I'm Still Standing by Elton John was shot in 2 days in Cannes. And after the first day of shooting, the cameraman dropped the camera in the ocean and they lost all of the footage. So they had to do the whole music video on the second day. But here's the thing. This is music video like rock star lore shit. Duran Duran happened upon Elton John the day that they lost the footage, and they were like, we're gonna get you fucked up, Elton John. And they got him obliterated all night. Like they sat him down and they got him shit drunk. So the next day he had to do the whole music video hungover and just miserable because
having to do it over again.
Duran Duran thought it was funny to get him fucked up.
On top of having him lose his whole music video and shit.
Yep.
That's really funny.
Damn.
That's better than facts. All right.
Well,
Thanks,
great
everybody.
job, everybody. Thank you for listening. Elliott, get well soon. That goes for you and your lovely bride.
Amen. Thank you.
And Joe, good luck to you too, my friend.
Thanks,
and
man.
Please keep bringing all the research you're doing for React stuff. Please bring all the juiciest morsels back to the Valleyfolk, will you?
Oh, I got so many morsels. You just got to get them out of my head bbefore I forget them inevitably because my brain is dying.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the Valleycast.
It'd be so funny if Kevin jumped in right now.
I've got something to say.
If you're down, if you're sad.